How would you like to have a real-time leaderboard up on the big board, on the big screen, in your war room? I know a lot of you, not everyone out there, but a lot of you all work in the same office. And wouldn't it be nice to be able to have a little friendly competition and be able to see how you're stacking up with everybody else in the office for the day based off of a specific report that has been put together by the team admin? Well, you're in luck. If that's what you're interested in, I'm going to show you how you can launch a real-time leaderboard from your PhoneBurner admin account. And then, of course, how you display that to your team is going to be up to you. I will throw this one other comment out. If you are not all in the same location, we do have the ability for you to share this report, this real-time leaderboard, to your entire team. It's something that you need to work with our support team on how to do, and we'll talk about that as well. So everybody, regardless of location, can actually see how they're stacking up against everybody else on the team. So let's get into this. I'm going to go ahead and close this leaderboard, and we're back in PhoneBurner. So from our PhoneBurner account, we're going to click on the Reports tab. And from the Reports section in PhoneBurner, I do want to point out that I'll say it. Every custom report could potentially be a real-time leaderboard, but most of the time, you're going to want to take a member detail report and launch it as a real-time leaderboard. Just because that's going to break it out by team member, right? So for those of you who've been following along, we've been creating different reports. We've been going through the reporting section and learning all of the cool things that you can do with reports. And so obviously we can take this member detail report that we've previously created and we can launch it as a real-time leaderboard. And you'll probably notice that it looks very familiar to what we were looking at when we started this call, right? This recording. And that is because this is the same leaderboard we were just looking at. Let's go ahead and close this. And let's create a new leaderboard because I want to talk to you about some of the settings and we'll go from there. So let's go ahead and edit. No, we don't want to edit. We want to add a report. And we're going to name this report Real-Time Leaderboard. I'm going to skip the description again because I'm lazy. The report type is going to be set to member detail. And the date range really could be whatever you want because whenever you launch it as a real-time leaderboard, it's always going to be today. However, you can choose real-time leaderboard as the date range, and that will take you straight into the leaderboard without extra clicks. We can set the default leaderboard theme. I'm going to leave it set to light. Include call graph, not relevant when we're in a leaderboard. Rotate leaderboard fields. When we're looking at a real-time leaderboard, you've got different fields, different columns of information that's displayed on the screen. And you can set one of those to be what determines the leader, or you can have it rotate through. So I'm going to set this one to rotate because I want you to see what that's like. And we're going to go ahead and save this. Now, once we save the report, now we've got a little bit more work to do in defining the fields, the data points that's going to be in this report. So let's click on the fields option and we're going to clean this up. One, I don't really care about average talk time in my real-time leaderboard. I don't really care about emails being sent in my real-time leaderboard, but I might want to track how many appointments my team has booked in their dial session. So we might want it to APTs as the field label. The type is going to be a disposition, and we're going to choose booked appointment as the disposition, and we'll include this in our summary. Let's go ahead and save. And now let's add another field. We might also want to track follow-ups. So follow-ups, disposition, status is follow-up. And that we might want to put in the summary as well. And then let's add another field. We might want to consider sum/total, total session duration. That could be interesting. Who's been dialing the most today, as far as most being the longest amount of time in the dial session. Call this one dial session time. I'm not going to throw this in the summary, and then we'll save. And then Something else that we might want to consider is a calculation, percentage of connected calls, percent, let's see here, connected, save, there we go. So you get it, you can add different fields in there, we can rearrange them, we'll come back and play around with some of these settings. But before we move on and take a look at this, let's talk about seats. Which team members should be in this real-time leaderboard? By default, it's going to be everybody on our team, but of course you can pick and choose which team members would be in that report. I'm going to leave it set to all. And then when it comes to email delivery, I'm not going to dig into the email delivery options here, but just know that that is an option for any report that you create in PhoneBurner. So now we are done creating this report. Let's jump back over to reports. And now we'll see real-time leaderboard as an option in our custom reports. If I click on that, what you'll notice is it takes me straight to the report. So here I am in the report. Now, some of you may remember when we were setting this up, we set it to automatically rotate through the fields, which means it's going to go from one column to the next column to the next column to the next column every time it refreshes, which is every 60 seconds. So let's go ahead and start dialing. I'm going to get some calls going in another account real quick. All right, so I'm now connected and dialing in another account. I'm also going to get connected in my admin account and do some dials. That way, when it refreshes, you'll actually see some of these numbers changing. And there you go. Actually, it did refresh, didn't it? So I was busy doing other stuff. All right, so now I've got some dial sessions happening. So me and a team member, we're in there making calls. And it's going to be doing its thing. And every 60 seconds, we're going to see it's going to refresh and it's going to work its way through all of these fields. So right now it's looking at who's called the most people. When it refreshes, it's going to be looking at who's talked to the most people. So we'll give that some time. All right, so there we go. We saw it refresh again. Here you can see Jeff is still winning. He's talked to the most number of people. And so he's staying on top there. All right, so here you see it just refreshed again and we have a new leader. Larry, Agent 13, has booked more appointments than anyone else on the team. So he just jumped to the top of the list because, well, he's got the most appointments. All right, so we just jumped over to our follow-up, but it looks like our follow-ups are not working the way we wanted it to work, right? It's showing who made the fewest appointments as the leader. That doesn't sound right. So let's go back to PhoneBurner. Let's edit our real-time leaderboard. So we're going to click on the little gear to the right of custom reports. And we're going to go down to real-time leaderboard and we're going to edit this. We're going to go over to fields. From here, we're going to go to follow-up and we're going to edit our follow-up option. And we're going to change this from ascending to descending. And we're going to save. So now the next time it comes up to follow-up, it should show us the leader based off of who has booked the most follow-ups. And there it is. It just jumped over to dial session time. And this one is doing it highest to lowest. So the person who has been dialing the longest in the dialer the most today is the winner. So anyway, I think you get the point. It's going to cycle through all of these. Once it gets to the end, it'll go back to the beginning and work its way through again. If you don't want to include the agent's names, which will also be included in the rotation, you could eliminate the agent option because the images or the initials will still show up without this. So you could eliminate that if you wanted to. So with that being said, let's go ahead and move on to the next item here. One of the other things that you can change is the theme, right? Do you want it to be a dark theme or a light theme? You have both of those options, dark or light. I'm not going to worry about switching that over here. It's either dark or light. I think you'll get that. And the last thing I want to point out before we wrap up, if you want a leaderboard to be visible to anyone on your team, you just need to reach out to our support team and send them this URL. They really just need the report ID, but it's simple. Just go ahead and select the whole report and send it to the team. Edit that report, send them the report ID, and then they can, and I'm talking about my support team, the support team can go ahead and add the real-time leaderboard as an option under the call history section within every user's account. And from there, anybody on your team will be able to click on this team leaderboard and it'll launch the leaderboard. As you can see, this is a different leaderboard than the one that we were just playing around with, right? It's got different information on there. So anyway, if you want to have a leaderboard available to everybody on your team, all my team needs is the report ID. So edit the report that you want to make available to your entire team and send that to the support team, support@phoneburner.com. Ask them to enable this as a shared leaderboard. And then once that's done, everybody on your team, no matter who it is, I'm going to go ahead and log in as somebody on my team here. We'll log in as Larry Agent 13. If we go to call history, you'll see that team leaderboard and he can launch it and see who's leading the pack. So anyway, I hope this helps you and your organization really start to learn how to love competing with each other, and let's get some friendly competitions out there. So thanks again and happy dialing.